I shall be waiting in the city spawn for the associate. Stay alive, nurse.
Look at that! Look at that!
What?
Look at this! What is this? My pimps and players, I am back. I'm here to play.
God damn it!
Hello. My name is Telvi, and I have one very important thing to say. Happy birthday, Nutritious Bag Circles. At the time of uploading this video, it is February 3rd, and 10 years ago, this little channel, this precious little baby of mine, was born. I've navigated through uncharted seas I wouldn't have thought of sailing, I've heard the voices of those I wouldn't have thought of hearing, and to this day, I am still experiencing the effects of that first upload 10 years ago. To all my new subscribers who have joined in my absence, welcome to my humble little channel. For any and all that have been around since way back when, you guys are incredible, and for how long I have been gone, you are not forgotten. So, I have been gone for a while. I'm pretty overdue with this, and I want to make this quick. I have a very special announcement. I am back. Yes, I am returning to YouTube. Well, yes, no, maybe, and not really. So, allow me to explain. There is a lot to break down and contextualize. I feel that to truly explain why I'm technically back, but not really, I really need to wind the clocks back a bit. Go through back memory lane. Back to this channel's founding. I gotta get back. Back to the past. Samurai Okay, anyways. So, there is a lot to cover here. Feel free to sit back, take your time. I've included timestamps for each part, so feel free to skip ahead as you please. Also, be sure to subscribe, tap on that bell icon, and turn on notifications if you're new to the channel. So, back in 2019, I released a very personal, very sentimental video that basically covered everything that I was going to talk about in this video. I've since then removed that video simply because it was very outdated, it said way too much than what needed to be said, and was overall way too personal in general. To sum up that video, I was not well mentally, physically, or spiritually. My university life, for the most part, was a miserable experience, and I really was out of shape. So yeah, depression, anxiety, a lot of family conflict and drama here and there, that sort of deal. So yeah, not so good stuff. In that video, I stated my intentions of continuing on with the channel, only to quickly fall short of that promise. Looking back now, it felt like cheap words, tossed out and forgotten like dust in the wind. Since then, so much has changed. Even with the insurmountable load of negative emotions I've experienced in the past, by the eternal grace of God, I have been brought out of it. Right now, at this very moment, I can say with confidence that for once, life is looking pretty good, guys. It has been almost 2 years since I graduated from university, and that horrible chapter of my life is behind me now. I have been getting a lot of help from a lot of people, I've sought professional help, and I've been taking care of my physical health. I've been hitting the gym. I'm in great shape. Let's go to the gym, buddy. Let's go to the gym, buddy. Let's go to the gym. Okay, anyways. So, safe to say, I'm doing pretty well for myself. More than I ever was in the past 10 years. Now, this isn't to say everything is perfect. I am not where I would prefer to be, but I am for sure in the best state, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, to really go out and do what I was not able to do in the past. Okay, channel history retrospective time. So, origin story. This channel was born way back in 2014, and the first videos I uploaded were mainly CSGO gaming montage videos. I still remember the Bureau Inspector being my first video, followed by my competitive casserole series. It was the first time I ever experimented with video editing, as well as uploading content to the internet. What started as a simple hobby with my friends soon became this pretty cool thing where random people would just subscribe and comment on my videos, and it was truly the first time I ever experimented with online engagement. Over time, as I gained more and more subscribers, I kept at it with a more consistent upload schedule, and I truly began to really experiment with all kinds of videos. Anything from silly gaming meme montages to tutorials to reviews. I kinda just did whatever interested me. Over time, I got better at video editing, played around with better setups, then I began thinking to myself of the hypothetical possibility of, hey, what if I got good with this YouTube thing with a big enough following that I could, I don't know, maybe make money from it? I will admit, this wasn't a time where every young person active online in the mid-2010s wanted to make a living off of gaming videos on YouTube, so I wasn't special in that regard in wanting to enter into an already saturated market. Yet, I knew that if I found a niche and kept at it, maybe I could get something from it. Now, I'll get to the discussion of money much later. For now, just the idea of the possibility of some sort of following or some sort of influencer space really got me motivated. And so I became focused. I got organized and began finding what worked. Ultimately, I found something that did work, something that worked better than expected. Kind of the reason I wanted to go back to YouTube. You know what it is if you've been subscribed long enough. I definitely know what it is since I keep getting comments on it every single year. Yes, it's this video, which I'm going to be discussing for a bit. To say that my How to Install in Under a Minute series, specifically the How to Install Half-Life 2 mods in Under a Minute video, is my most successful series to date is an understatement. To also say that it was a hugely missed opportunity early on that I did not continue on or capitalize on is also an understatement. To this day, I still get comments from people for that video. Some of them complimentary and others needing a bit more assistance. Just the fact that more people now are finding that video over time, and that video alone is what is boosting my sub count since, like, what, the 3 or 4 years I've been absent? Like, seriously, who are you people? I mean, it's crazy. I welcome you. It's a real shame I have not been able to make more of that series, be it about game mods or whatever I like. I believe I am greatly overdue in addressing that huge elephant in the room. I'm really wanting to get back to making more of that series, especially in this current era of short-term media. And in due time, I will. But first, we gotta talk about something very serious, okay? Something involving that dosh, that bread, Let's talk about dinero. Now, I get the topic of money on YouTube is kind of a touchy subject, when in my opinion it doesn't really need to be. Oftentimes it involves discussions of monetization practices that a lot of channels need to thrive off, while also being something that most viewers don't want to see. A lot of it involves topics of ad revenue and sponsorships and Patreon and affiliate marketing links and all this stuff that really is necessary for these channels to survive, but most viewers will just kind of see it as shilling. Like, I get it, I'm with you. I literally have my uBlock origin on as I'm checking this video's upload quality. I remember when ad revenue alone was just enough for most content creators here to make it by more than a decade ago. Alas, after the so-called YouTube apocalypse, the YouTube policy changes, and well, now it's global economic inflation, people had to adapt. And well, that resulted in a lot of channels, doing a lot of sponsorship shilling, unfortunately. Now, I'd like to think I'm a pretty alright guy. I don't really need all of that if it ever comes my way. However, I'm a grown guy. I'm not just some silly fella from yesteryear. I gotta make ends meet. This is the most honest I am being here. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm coming back not just because I miss this channel, not just because I miss you guys, but also because I know I can get something more out of it. Now, I will promise you 2 things. Number 1, in the inevitable possibility I get sponsorship offers, I will not take them unless I myself approve them. Number 2, all of my videos, now, in the past, or in the future, will be unmonetized. So no worrying about that. And hey, they can't demonetize you if you are unmonetized to begin with. The idea of a Patreon with benefits is also very attractive to me, but I'd prefer to wait just a little bit until I get well adjusted to YouTube again after, not editing and uploading frequently like I did so in the past. For now, all that I ask for you is to simply subscribe, like this video, turn on bell notifications, and, feel free to engage in the comments. Tell me your questions. Tell me your comments or concerns. Tell me how I'm doing. Tell me how you're doing. And, just overall have a good discussion. Now, let's move on to more interesting stuff. Let's talk about people, specifically friends. At least the ones that have come and gone, and those that have stayed along for the ride. For those who have been around on this channel for a long while, remember that I used to play a lot of competitive ranked CSGO matches with a few guys way back when. The first of them being President Moose. He has been around since the earliest videos I've ever made. Today, I haven't spoken to him in years, simply because I don't know where he's at. I haven't really heard of him in a long time, be it on Steam or elsewhere. I do recall before the days of Discord we used Skype a lot, but I doubt he himself still uses it. Which, if I mean to interject, Moose, buddy, if you are watching this, please reach out to me. I miss you, bro. You were my first best friend on the internet. I'm genuinely curious how life is treating you right now. Please reach out to me, bro. I miss you. Now, alongside Moose and our CSGO videos, there were 2 other guys that were active in our videos. You probably know who they are, who, like Moose, I have not heard of in years. I will say, though, they stand out for important reasons. I feel now is a great time to really break down and confess something that I haven't really expressed in the past. It's actually played a bit of a role as to why I haven't really been working on this channel for a long while. It's going to be a tad bit personal, so be warned. These 2 guys, let's just refer to the first one as Burger Man and the second as Pink Starfish Man. These 2 were outright cyberbullies to me. and I'm being completely honest with you guys on top of everything that was going on in my life in the past that eventually led me to abandoning this channel. These two played a bit of an emotional role in that respect. In complete honesty, I don't know where these two are or where they've been. I truly and honestly hope they are well, hope they have matured, and hope they've grown as people, but I doubt at least one of them is like that. I'm addressing this because behind the scenes of, say, the competitive casserole series, even during some episodes, Burger Man was an absolute troll to me. He was always picking on me and manipulating me, and he would basically berate and harass me for my beliefs. He was a very toxic individual whom I always sort of just repressed whatever he threw at me. Starfish Man was a bit more chill, albeit he played into Burger Man's games all the time. It was never really a fun period in my life with these two around, and I just sort of turned the other cheek, as they say, and moved on. They were pretty funny, I will admit, and there were some decent times we had together, but I ultimately had to get away from them. In the end, I forgive them, but I must acknowledge how their treatment towards me has affected my mental health and this channel's direction. And for a while, I never really socialized with anyone online since then, and since I pretty much do the same in real life, I was pretty lonely for a few years. I have made some new friends since then. You've probably already seen their work here too. Overall, I'm in good hands around great people, and really the best choice I ever did was to forgive and forget. So, before I move on, like I addressed in the past, Moose, if you and your friends are watching, genuinely, I miss you guys. As for Burger Man and Starfish Man, I forgive you too. Telvi has no enemies, and he must remind himself that his biggest enemy is himself. So this brings me on to the end of the video. There was a lot to discuss, and to be honest, I kind of wanted to say more, but I'd be yapping for hours at that point. So to conclude, am I back to YouTube? Are we so back, or is it so over? I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I would prefer there to be some form of monetary incentive for me to run this channel. It would be pretty cool if it was a second stream of income for sure, but let's just focus on the channel and not focus on that right now. My plan really is to continue on with the Under a Minute series, since that is the best thing I want to do, alongside some other ideas I had in mind that I wanted to work on. I would like to think I'm a bit of a smart fella. I like to really talk a lot about games. I know video essays are all the rage these days. I personally don't like them. Some of them are good, but whatever. That's all that I have to say right now. I got a lot of work to do, so happy birthday, Nutritious Bag Circles. I miss you, little guy. My name is Telby Phil, and I will see you later.